Be my king. We belong together, you and I.
We do, but this is not gonna work, you know, because I'm a Capricorn and you're fucking nuts!
So you know how you're watching something and it just goes on and on and on and on and on, seeming like forever, like it's never going to stop? That's what we have here in this Hellboy reboot. Well, let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Hellboy. I really do appreciate it. Now, some of you may know this, some of you may not, but Hellboy is a comic book character. He is based off of a comic book. He's also based off of a graphic novel that I have not read or are too familiar with myself. Now, this is a rebooted film. The original Hellboy film came out in 2004. It had a sequel that came out in 2008, Hellboy, The Golden Army. And those two films were directed by Guillermo del Toro. He's a decent director to me. I'm not a big fan of his, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I enjoy all of his work, but I have enjoyed some, I'll be honest with you. And for his past Hellboy films, I mean, I really don't remember too much about them other than they had a few good action scenes and martial arts themes throughout. And just my cup of tea, I love martial arts. So I thought all those sequences were very cool, but I really don't remember much about them. And those films did not make money, to my understanding. They both lost money. So I don't understand why they were even trying to go forward with the Hellboy 3 in 2012, let alone make this reboot here by people that are not as popular. And while I say that Mr. Neil Marshall, he is the director of this film, it's not Guillermo del Toro. He did Centurion that came out in 2010 and also Doomsday. I have not seen either of those films, but from what I remember, they were pretty decent. They had some type of entertaining value to them. And Mr. Ron Perlman is not reprising his role as Hellboy. We have Mr. David Harbour, and he has been in a number of TV shows and films that you may have heard of, may have not, in the past few years as well. But let's just go ahead and get into this film right here. This Hellboy, this reboot in 2019, it throws a lot at you, and there is a ton in this film, a ton to soak in, and none of it is good. Now, as I'm recording this video right now, the score on Rotten Tomatoes is a 12%. Honestly, I think it should be a -12 because, frankly, I thought this film was atrocious. You probably can see that by the title of this video and the thumbnail, and I mean exactly that. But why, Brandon? Why do I feel this way? Well, first off, when the film first begins in the flashback going through the Dark Ages, the film itself does not take itself seriously. Immediately, is as if the film is rushing to get to some part 2 or part 3 without even fleshing out part 1. It's just like, okay, guys, these are just the cliff notes. Get over it, fill in the blanks, we're just going to get to the good stuff, but no good stuff ever does come by. And, it's being narrated by Mr. Ian McShane. I am a fan of his. I think he's a decent actor, but he himself doesn't even come through to deliver anything worthwhile in this film. And another thing that I just don't like about it is none of the characters in this film have any chemistry whatsoever with one another. They're just introduced randomly to you as an audience member, and you're just expected to care, but you don't. And it's really difficult to do that, especially when the acting is just not good. And Hellboy himself, I mean, let's just wrap ourselves around this premise, around this plot, around this synopsis. It's a boy that's coming from hell. Now, last time I checked, there's nothing good about hell. So I don't even know why we have a character that we're supposed to feel sympathetic for or empathetic when you come from hell. Now, they try to present him as a good guy, but I really just don't care. There's nothing about the Hellboy character that grabs me, that piques my interest, that makes me want to get to know more about him. And we don't even get to know anything about the Hellboy character in this movie other than a corny flashback to the 1940s where we're in the middle of World War II. I mean, that is the explainer. That is the exposition dump that we get. And we don't get anything fulfilling at all, in my opinion. It's just random. And it's just like, you know, they had nothing to do and they're just trying to get to a rush sequel for some reason. Like the studio is under the mindset that they're going to be making some type of money. Now, another horrible thing about this film is the CGI. This is some of the worst CGI that I have ever seen in like the past 10 to 15 years. There is one character in this movie that is, he's some type of hybrid mutant pig warthog man thing. And it just looked horrible. As soon as he popped on screen, I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we back in 1993? This looks ridiculous. I mean, what was the budget for this film? $5,000? Because it clearly did not go into the design of these creatures here. And then they just came across funny too. And it makes it even worse when these creatures are just extremely grotesque and just vile to look at. I mean, this film is disgusting in more ways than one. There is no care of life in this movie. There is an excessive amount of gore and just carnage that I find completely unnecessary. And the thing is, I don't even mind gore or anything like that. I mean, I watched The Walking Dead. I've seen Kill Bill and Kick Ass and any other violent movie that has to do with anything. But for this film right here, it seems like they're just shoehorning it in, trying to come across as edgy and new or something. And it just comes across as cheap and dull, like someone just doesn't know, you know, how to play with their toys. I mean, there was really just no direction in this movie. It's just like, okay, let's just try to start and finish. I mean, it's like a little kid just la, 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 you know, splattering paint everywhere. And yeah, this film does come in at a rated R. It is a hard R because there's just unnecessary gore everywhere. I mean, it's just disgusting. And there's just also a bunch of unnecessary profanity in this film either. I mean, they say shit a whole bunch of times and they drop a few F-bombs. And I'm just kind of saying to myself, like, why does this not fit? Why do I not care? Why is this rubbing me the wrong way? Brandon, you don't mind profanity. You don't mind gore and blood and guts. And you've seen all the Saw films, but it's just something in this film right here. It's just like, man, like, can y'all value life at all? Bodies or just being dismembered left and right. Giants are eating human beings and feeding, making child soup and eating that with bones. It's just a very, very disgusting movie. I mean, I seriously think that all the creatives, while they were sitting down making this movie, just like, okay, what more disgusting things can we do to add to this picture just to make it more disgusting, not to make it more entertaining, not to make it more thrilling, or to have people running out of the theater like, oh my gosh, you have to see this Hellboy film. I mean, what were they thinking? I mean, what average person comes out the movie like, oh, what did you do? Oh, I went to go see the Hellboy movie. Oh, how was it? Man, it was disgusting. Oh, for real, it was disgusting. Man, it was disgusting. No one talks like that. No one looks forward to anything like that when they're trying to go to the movie theater or have some type of experience. But it's like the creators in this film wrote it that way, and I'm just like, okay, what the hell is going on? I just don't understand. There is one scene where Hellboy is fighting with giants, and it just feels like an accident, like, you know, they're just going like this and he just happens to win. I don't understand the outcome there. I mean, I don't know. It just really doesn't make any logical sense to me. Also in the film, I like to where when you're in a universe that we have to suspend our disbeliefs, I mean, they're not living in the world we're living in. I like for the film to set rules of the universe and stick with it. And as soon as they made the rules in this film and stuck with it for just a quick moment, during the next few scenes, they completely abandoned it. And I'm just like, I mean, like, it has to do with like magic and spells and things like that. I mean, there is this artifact, you know, for lack of a better word, that's in a chest, but only a man of God can open it with his tongue. But later on, somebody just punches it open with a hard fist. I mean, I don't understand. The rules are being thrown away, and that's just something that I just really didn't like. Like I said, the acting is bad too. And at the very beginning, I said that this film does not take itself seriously. And that's like, you know, it tries to borrow off the film Deadpool of how it breaks the fourth wall. The thing is, in Deadpool, it worked. In this film, it did not work. When it's not clever, it's not funny. It's just snarky and annoying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, somebody's like, oh, hey, we're just doing that because we're trying to prepare for the sequel. I mean, that was actually a line of dialogue in this film. I'm just like, oh my God, do y'all not give a F? Like, what are y'all doing? I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand. But I mean, guys, there's really just nothing that I really enjoyed about this film. The story is bland and it's all over the place. The CGI is bad, the acting is bad, and none of the characters have chemistry. The action is clunky and all over the place. The jokes are corny and just nothing lands. I mean, this is just a horrible film. This is easily the worst film that I've seen in 2018 so far. And I have some notes here. I just want to run down them real quick just to make sure I did not leave out anything. And it does not look like I did. It's just, you know, an all around horrible film. If I had to rate Hellboy, this 2019 reboot, out of a 1 out of 10, easily, I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. Yes, a 1 out of 10, double F for effing failure. But guys, that is just my opinion. What did you think about this Hellboy film, or do you want to see it? Have I turned you on? Have I turned you off? Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me that thumbs up. If you don't, that's fine, but you can still subscribe to my channel. Also look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all that good stuff. It's right there at the bottom of your screen, and I made it very easy by providing a link to all this down in the description box below. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my Hellboy But Must review. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.